Hi, I'm Donna Malatino, East Coast Girl Move West Coast. I currently work for Goldwell KMS as both a store advocate and a GTA. I'm loving my role with the company, and I'm hoping to make the cut. This is my model, Mary Beth. I'll start out by letting you know that I did prep her hair using Silk Lift with macro and micro weaves 20 volume developer. At the end of that, after about 20 minutes, I liked the lift that I had received, and I deposited with the Express Toner in level 10 champagne for 5 minutes, and this is the result. We have a beautiful multi-dimensional blonde. So hi, actually today my model Mary Beth, who has gorgeous hair, it's very full, she has a lot of it. We are going to be doing a haircut which is going to be an A-line bob. It's going to be shorter in the back and longer in the front. I think that Mary Beth has a lot of hair and she just needs something that's going to be easy for her to get up, run to work. She has a family, she's super busy. So I try to give her something that's always going to look perfect and clean on her. She's a professional, and that's the look that we're going for today. So we're going for a clean A-line bob with graduation. For sake of simplicity, I'm going to keep my partings and sectioning just very brief and to the point. So I'm just going to go with 2 sections. So I'm cutting an inverted V in the back here. And what that does is it's going to push her hair forward so she gets that nice roundness and length in the front that she likes so much. And now that I've completed the line, I'm going to carry that through and blend it into the front. She's growing out bangs, so we want to connect to the longest piece in the front. And Mary Beth has a lot of hair here, so if anyone out there needs some hair, I think Mary Beth will be happy to share, won't you, Mary Beth? We'll cut your blow drying time in half. I'm using a medium to wide tooth comb because I don't want to force Mary Beth's hair into any direction that goes against her growth pattern. It'll only work against us later. Again, taking vertical sections and taking the hair and finding the guideline in the center, connecting the section that we're taking to the previous section, and then cutting straight through. I will now proceed the sectioning, taking down another 1/2 inch section of the back only, and bringing it down, combing it through over what we just cut, and repeating the same procedure that we did from the middle to the left side behind Mary Beth's ear, and then from the middle to the right. At this juncture, I'm going to begin holding the hair out, changing the angle slightly. I want to get a little bit more shortness and less bulk through the back of her hair. So I'm going to start cutting more in an almost 90-degree elevation from our previous set, 45. So the 45-degree gave us a bevel at the bottom. And if we just raise the hair up a little bit higher, I don't necessarily want to layer the back, but I want the steepest level of elevation possible in order to get a nice clean cut in the back. And again, get rid of unnecessary bulk. One of my favorite haircuts, by the way, is the Nancy Kwan A-line bob that Vidal Sassoon created in the 60s. It's just classic. I absolutely love it. I think going with the texture of the hair and the lifestyle of the client is always very, very important to factor in. After all, you do want to consider the client and their needs in order to be successful and be able to give them something that best suits their lifestyle. People's lives change. In the case with my client here, Mary Beth, she actually met her when she was single, and now she has 2 little girls. She's got a beautiful family, and she's got a really hectic lifestyle. So right now, low maintenance is something that she actually looks forward to having. And I try to always accommodate what her changing needs are. I think she's been every color that we can conceive of. We had her tritoned when we first met. We had her at like a level 12 blonde with some red and some just craziness happening in block color patterns and every haircut known to mankind, from long to short to perm to straight. And now she's reverting back to her classic bob. Got a great amount of bevel happening here. I have probably 1 inch of graduation down at the bottom. And I think that this is going to work really nicely for her. Her hair tends to bulk up behind her ears, so I'm going to do everything possible to get that to not be an issue for her. And as you can see, this is going to start to connect. I'm going to actually leave this part over the ear whenever you cut a bob. You should never put tension or else it will jump and you'll have a speed bump here. And there's very little to cut when you come up towards the front. Because what we were doing was we were actually taking where she had too much hair in the back and connecting it to the front where actually she wants to grow it even longer. This is actually now the completion of one side of the connection from the occipital bone in the back with a higher level of graduation into a softer graduation coming joining the shorter hairs in the back to the much longer lengths in the front in a smooth transition, as you can see here. I am going to now repeat this procedure on the other side of the haircut. I'm going to proceed doing this, I want to say maybe another 3 sections or so until we've cut all the hair on Mary Beth's head, which Mary Beth is used to. This is like 2 haircuts in one. She's got beautiful hair and a lot of it. Mary Beth, you think one of these days would grow out at least about 15 inches? You need 10 for Locks for Love. We could donate it and make wigs out of it. You need to have a 10-inch ponytail, though, in order to make that happen. So let me show you what's happening here. This is going to be her length in the front. The goal is to get the front longer. The back is just extra hair for her to style each day. So with that in mind, I'm proceeding with the haircut. Are you glad I persuaded you to be blonde?
Yes, yes.
That's something different. How long has it been since your last blonding adventure?
I think a long time. A long time. We've been every color, I think, in between there. So all kinds of browns and reds and stuff. But the blonde is nice. Like I said, people really like it.
That's great. And you want to tell everyone which one was my personal favorite?
Which one was that? I think you liked the, when we had 3 different colors going at once.
I love that one.
So
that was fun.
That was fun.
And now, I mean, I'm always the girl who loves the gingery or red on you. But the blonde was to make Mary Beth's husband Richard happy. He's a nice guy. And I thought we should factor him in. I think he suffered through the perm stage. She looked beautiful with the wavy hair, by the way, and she was able to begin to raise 2 children with the perm and just wash and wear hair. So I mean, that's great. We can't say enough good things about the perm, right, Mary Beth?
The perm was good, but I think actually probably the classic bob is my favorite.
Oh, so I'm happy that that's what we
Nice,
decided to do. So because his hair is so free-flowing here, I'm gonna leave this. I mentioned a few times throughout the haircut that with the classic A-line bob, sometimes the natural movement of the hair takes over, and recutting the hair and slightly tweaking it once it's dry is the way to go. And that's how I'm feeling about this very front piece. So I believe I'll be taking 3 more sections to complete the haircut. And then we'll decide how we're going to be styling today. And this is looking quite beautiful as we transition from the back of the haircut again to the front of the haircut. I'd like to show you the beveling
nice.
that we have going here.
Oh, that's great.
And I've dropped this out just for sake of seeing where it goes when it's dry. I think
Okay.
I think with all the hair that you have, that's the way to go. Okay, at this point in the haircut, what I'm going to do is I'm going to free up all the hair that's been bound. It's beginning to dry, which I actually like, because when the hair begins to dry, you can actually see where it's going to fall. You can see the shape of the haircut that you're cutting. And although it's not blow dried in style just yet, you get a really good feeling for what it is that you're doing. I like to take this time, once it starts drying, to step back and look at it. Cutting dry hair is actually a favorite of mine. When you're looking for structure within a haircut, however, it's always best to build the foundation in the hair when it's wet, and then go over and feel free to either texturize or fine tune at the point when the hair is dry. You can play with it, you can have some fun with it, you can decide to cut shapes out if you like, or maybe texturize a piece or two. You look in the mirror and you just kind of go with what you're feeling is going to work best for that client, of course with their permission. So it's essential when cutting around the ear to be absolutely certain that you're conservative in how much length that you're actually going to be removing at that juncture when you're over directing the hair from the front towards the back, taking as little as possible and exercising caution not to remove too much of the hair. The issue with removing too much of the hair is if you cut in too deeply at this point in the haircut, you'd have to go back in and recreate the entire haircut and make it half an inch shorter in order to compensate for that loss. However, if you leave a fraction too long, it's very, very easy in the cleanup at the end, in the finish, to just pick up that strand of hair and be able to just remove an extra piece here or there that you may need to. How long did it take to grow out your bangs, Mary Beth?
Oh, what was it? Maybe a year almost?
It's funny, I kind of wanted to convince Mary Beth she should have them once again.
Yeah.
But I wanted to let her have her moment at least before I start riding her in that way. And okay, so this is the line that we have right now for Mary Beth's haircut. And I won't be doing any more cutting on the wet hair until it's dried and finished. And I believe in this regard, it's best for us to do a smooth blow dry, just so that I can go through and see if any changes need to be made. And now the fun part, we're going to style Mary Beth's A-line bob. My favorite product by Goldwell is the Elixir, and it can be used to increase the combability of the hair when the hair is wet. It can also be used in the finish when the hair is dry. Mary Beth's hair is in very, very good condition, but since we did just use some silk lift on her and I want to get a nice, sleek, smooth look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a drop or two of the Elixir in her hair prior to blow drying. And the great thing about Elixir is it can be used on all different hair textures, from coarse hair to thin, fine, blonde hair without adding any weight. Basically, I just feel it's just amazing. It's the most versatile product. I pretty much enjoy using it on everything. Kind of like the express toning. I think there's a use for it. Okay, so moving forward, in order to finish Mary Beth's bob, we're going to use what I call a wrap technique. And basically, it's just wrapping the hair around the head and following with the blow dryer in order to not get too much pop or too much lift. I want to avoid, for the most part, the use of the round brush because, as I mentioned before during the haircut, it's just nice to be able to go through with the comb and pick up any loose ends on this haircut, which is a precision haircut at the end. If we start to curl or we make too many bends in the hair, or create lift somewhere, what will happen is it will be difficult to get a true read on the way the hair is falling and laying. So I believe the wrap technique is the best for finishing. We're going to be using a rectangular shaped brush, and we're not going to be putting very much tension on the hair. Basically, we just want the air to go through it as we move with the brush, and also we're going to be using a bit of the paddle brush. It's for bristle, and I love that. So it's great for shine in the hair. And we're going to start from the back and move towards the front. And once I've blown it, I will then go through and just fine tune the outer perimeter of her hair and any hairs that may have moved out of place. I'm also going to insert my brush close to the root, grab the hair, lift it, and follow down with the dryer in order to get a nice smooth straight edge here. by now you can see why I've chosen Mary Beth as my model. I don't think anyone's got more beautiful hair than she does. Particularly for this look, she wears it well. Now just to discuss other styling opportunities with a bob. I mean, for fun, when she's going to her next party, I can have her come in and I would love to do some finger waves in her hair. Today I believe we're featuring the haircut, but her styling options are unlimited with this haircut. We can do a beach wave. We can let her hair dry natural. She can use the sea salt spray and get just a nice PC beachy effect happening with the hair. Or she can opt to use it this way for her job, just smooth and sweet. So we're just wrapping the hair around the head and the front to dry that. And as you can see, we have a beautiful line here through the front that's happening with a slight graduation from the back towards the front. And I think at this juncture, for sake of simplicity, it'd be nice just to go through with a flat iron, just to give her a nice smooth finished look. So in order to flat iron this and complete the look, I think what I'm going to do is follow through with one of my brushes. You can also follow through with a comb where the teeth are tighter together. So I'd flat iron through either the tight end of the comb or using, this is my teasing brush, but I'm having a love affair with this. I just love the fact that I can part with the one side and then I can follow through with the other. So now it's time to make a decision and just clean up the edge at the bottom. Obviously, since it created this underneath, I don't want to take too much of it, but I do want to take whatever is not working with the way that her neck is bent. So Mary Beth, just look natural the way you normally would, and I'm just going to basically take my comb and I'm just going to gently comb through. I'm going to step back and look at my work and see where this needs to be cleaned up. And I see that if I just drag my comb down, I can just clean up some of this hair here and make the line a lot cleaner. So this is the finish. It's my perfect model Mary Beth with her gorgeous blonde bob. It's a slight A-line. We can go for more. I think as her hair grows longer, we're probably going to let the front get longer and longer and keep the back kind of where it is. And just make it more extreme. I can have fun styling her hair in multiple different ways. I would use the hot flex spray and come through with the Marcel iron and do some really gorgeous finger waving through the sides as an option. If you guys haven't tried the hot flex spray, it's pretty amazing. This is it. And you just spray it. It's got a heat protection factor in it. I love it, love it, love it. Marcel iron is actually my favorite. Also, pliable texture, okay, which would give you a finish and a piecing effect. For today, though, because she looks so beautiful just the way she is, and she's really happy with the results, and since she's happy, I've opted not to move it around. So for today, I'm going to be using the anti-humidity seal on Mary Beth's hair. I just think it gives it a really nice, smooth salon finish. I'm going to shake this up. I'm going to spray a little bit on the comb, which is kind of the way I like to apply a lot of my hairsprays, on a smooth, sleek finish look rather than directly on the hair. This way I can control the amount of spray that I'm putting. And I can also grab those little flyaway hairs that sometimes tend to pop up. Buying another piece back here that I want to fix. The hair on a bob will move from wet to dry, and that's the reason why we're finding these pieces that need to be cleaned up. Yeah, and so it transitions really nicely into the side. I mean, I also laid her color in so that you can see the difference. between what's been cut underneath and the top layer. So I think that emphasizes the haircut. I love when the color and the cut work hand in hand. And in this case, you know, I designed the color patterning to kind of coincide with the sectioning of the haircut here, just to draw attention to it. We can have fun with something like this, and we can just let that front come down kind of like a Veronica Lake and do a little bit of finger waving through the front. And she doesn't need to work too hard at it because the haircut speaks for itself. It's so defined that it doesn't really require a lot of styling, but when you do want to play with it, you can use a little hot flex spray, just spray a piece and just take maybe 3 sections of hair and do like a zigzag patterning in the front. Kind of make it a little flashy, you know, for evening. Put on a nice pair of earrings, tuck one side behind the ear type of thing. Just kind of glam it up a little bit. Or make the front smooth and just kick the back up a little bit. You know, if you move the hair around a little bit, you can see the haircut here in the graduation. In fact, indeed, a lot of times her head is down and up again, so I view her like this a lot. You know, the possibilities here are endless. So she can wear a headband, she can tease the back up in a little bit of a bouffant. I mean, when it comes to styling, the possibilities are endless, but for the sake of this video today, we just kept it simple so that you can see the lines of the beautiful haircut that exists here in the color patterning and my lovely model. Thank you for your time.